Hello, I'm Mariah Nolen, and I'll be doing my geography project on Maine. So I'll start with some history about Maine. In 1604, the French settled in St. Croc's Island. In 1607, an English colonist, George Popham, established Fort St. George in Maine, the same time as Jamestown, Virginia. But the settlers of Maine became overwhelmed by the harsh climate, and a year later they returned to England. The city of Georgiana, which was named Agoumentix before, was the first city charted in Maine or the United States. In 1641, the rename happened in 1642. When Massachusetts Bay Colony annexed southwest Maine in 1652, the city of Georgiana was renamed to York. In the summer during 1947, in drought-like conditions, a series of fires burned more than 200,000 acres and was known as the year Maine burned. Maine was also inhabited by the Native American tribe, the Wabanaki. Maine was a district of Massachusetts until 1820. Maine is part of the Atlantic Periphery. Maine has issues with overfishing other than lobsters. Lobsters remain to be very profitable to Maine. Maine's most populated state is Portland. Maine has lots of forestry. Maine also consists of many parks, such as Maine's Acadia National Park. It is also the most visited national park in Maine. Maine also wasn't a great location for commercial farming. Maine's language is mostly English. Maine is also home to small groups of Spanish, German, and Chinese speaking, along with other languages, as shown on the screen. Maine also was home to the Native American tribe known as the Wabanaki. There are many museums in Maine that explains the history of these Native Americans. There is also a festival dedicated to them as well. Maine was also once claimed by the French, and they also hold a festival called the Acadian Festival for the French who immigrated to Quebec, along with two other festivals. There was also Irish and Scottish settlers in Maine in the 17th century. There are 3 festivals that celebrate them and are also a trail and heritage center. Maine is known for their lobsters and gourmet restaurants. Fishing has been a major industry for Maine, but due to overfishing, there is a decline. Maine was also a leader in forest products as well, and their main crop are potatoes, but only a small portion of the state works with agriculture. Their terrain and soil quality make it inadequate for large-scale farming. Since the 1950s, Maine has been both Republican and Democrats. Maine legalized some same-sex marriage in 2012. In 1854, the abolishment movement gave the Republican Party a start in Maine. And in 1910 and in 1912, the Democratic Party took over Maine's influence, and also through the Great Depression during the 1932 and 1934 elections.